What's the most common problem in public speaking? It has to be stage fright. And anytime I ask that question, I get the same answer, stage and fright. So what are we talking about? I always like to break things down, so I'll start with stage. Stage is basically a platform, a place where you are exposed to the public, where you cannot hide from anything. You are just like I am right now. I'm on a stage right now. It may not be raised, it may not be a huge dais, there may not be 40,000 people here, but it's still a stage, and you're supposed to deliver a message to people. Now, fright expresses itself in so many ways. Increased heart rate, so your heart is pounding like a big drum. You're sweating, even though the room is cold like now. You feel like running away. Your mouth feels dry. And you're in a state of panic. And I'm here to tell you that it's okay to feel this way. It's okay to feel panicked when you're in front of an audience about to deliver a performance of some kind, whether it's a speech or it's a poem or it's a song. Musicians suffer from stage fright. Politicians suffer from stage fright. But pastors, whoever. It's a common thing. And it's natural because, I mean, look at it this way. You are invited to come on the stage. You stand there. You are speaking. And you want to put your best foot forward. You want to give people the best impression that they should have about you. You don't want to fall flat on your face. So that's one. Number two, you don't want to make mistakes. You don't want to disappoint yourself, and so it manifests in a real serious problem of stage fright, and it's happened to the best of the speakers. People have been known to pee on themselves, just being called to come and sit on the stage, and stand on the stage and talk. People have been known to just, they invite you, they mention your name, and then nothing comes out. People have fled. So so if you feel that way, don't think that you are alone, because it's a very common problem. Anytime I do a survey of participants at a public speaking training like this, and I ask them, I even just pass the paper around and ask them to anonymously put down their greatest problem in public speaking. They will write down. I can always guarantee that 80% of the problems will be linked with stage fright, fear, anxiety, and there's so many words for it. If you hear performance anxiety, it is stage fright. Mic fright is stage fright. You are afraid to go on the stage, to make mistakes, to disappoint yourself. And there could be many reasons. It could be that you are not sure that the audience actually even will accept what you're going to say. You think that the people in the audience know more than you, and you're not sure of your grammar, you're not sure of your information, you're not even prepared. Maybe they told you to get up and speak impromptu, and then without any preparation, you got onto the stage, and now you don't know what to say. It's a really common problem. But there are ways to deal with it, okay? There are ways to deal with it. For those of you who don't even like speaking in public, you've got to try and now and I can see some smiles on the faces of the people in the audience here. There are ways, there's a really good way to make speaking in public more relaxing. And I strongly believe in the principle of doing something to become better at it. So if you want to know how to ride a bicycle, start riding a bicycle. If you want to know how to write poetry, start writing poetry. It doesn't have to be perfect poetry, but it has to be an attempt. I look at babies who are trying to walk. Baby has no ideas in his or her mind that when I get up now and I put my foot forward, I'm going to be able to walk. 99% of the time, possibly even 100% of the time, because I'm yet to hear of any baby who got up one day and started walking. Although my mom said that when I was born, my elder brother, who was like 1.5 years older than me, my grandma was living with us. And so on the day I was born, my grandma said to my big brother, "My friend, your time of being the king in the house is over. Get up and walk." And the legend has it that my brother got up and started walking. but that's just my brother. Most of the time, babies who get up, walk a step and fall. It's normal. Then they'll walk 2 steps and fall, 3 steps. It's the same with public speaking. You've got to do it to get better at it. You can't read all the books in the world. You can't watch all the great speakers in the world to become a great public speaker. You actually have to do it. But before you become a great speaker, you have to be a great listener. So you want to be a great public speaker, start by attending events where people are going to speak. And then, so number one, you start by attending events. Attend as many as possible. The objective is just to sit there and observe the speaker. Listen to what they are saying, okay? A couple of tips around attending events. Sit in the front. Even though you are shy, even though you are nervous, even though you don't have confidence, sit in the front. There's a good reason why I'm saying you should sit in the front when you go to just to go and listen to people. And it will come to the time where you have to ask questions. Because if you sit in the front and it's time for you to ask questions, if you are shy and you raise your hand and ask a question, if you're in the front, nobody will see your face. Because all you see is the speaker. Okay? But imagine that you sat at the back of the room, you know, and I said, okay, lady in the light blue dress, light blue shirt with the braids, yes, what's your question? The moment I say that, most people will turn around to look at her, and then now the attention is all on you. So a way to block the stares of people who you are afraid will do something to you, although they won't do anything to you, but it's just an irrational fear that is there all the same, is for you to sit in the front so that you take away that barrier of people looking at you and confusing you and bewitching you and making you want to fail. No, so you come to the front, okay? You come to the front all the time, okay? So attend an event, attend as many events as you can, sit in the front, okay? And when it comes to question time, be the first person to raise your hand. But before even, so be the first person to raise your hand, but before you even say out your questions, start by writing your questions out on a piece of paper. You must always be taking notes when you go to trainings, whether you go to speeches, when you go to talks, you go to conferences, write stuff down, okay? So you're listening to the presentation, Kafui has spoken, there are a few things that you think are interesting, you write them down. Questions that you want to ask. You don't quite agree with what he said, write it down. So you write down your question. When it's time for question time, who is the first person to raise their hand? You. You raise your hand, and they call you, and you stand up, and you read your question out. Ditto, ditto. Then you sit down and wait for the answer. The next time there's another talk, go to the talk, sit in the front, listen attentively, write down whatever thoughts are in your mind, and make it your goal to be the first person to raise their hand when it's time for the questions. Okay? You do that over and over and over. What will happen are a few things. First of all, you will get used to hearing your voice coming out of the loudspeaker. A lot of times, people hear their voice coming out of the loudspeaker at an event and they are shocked. Man, that doesn't sound like me. My voice is too high. Oh, my voice is too deep. You know, that kind of thing. You are shocked. Of course, it has to. I mean, without amplification, your voice sounds different from when it comes to a loudspeaker. When it comes to a loudspeaker, it's different, you know. And it depends on the settings that they may have had on the console. Your voice may sound deeper than normal or higher than normal, but it's your voice, okay? So the whole idea of going to a talk and sitting in the front and asking the questions first so that you get used to hearing your voice coming out from the microphone through the loudspeaker. So you do that, number one, okay? So it desensitizes you from that fear. You're no longer afraid to hear your voice. You are confident too, because confidence comes from you being... so confidence, so this is the word confidence. I'll just digress. So confidence. Then Scaffold, spell well. Okay, so with, fidence, trust. So when you have self-confidence, then you trust in yourself, you see? And you can only trust in yourself when you become good at something. When you are good at something, then you have trust in yourself. That's what confidence is all about. I have a great quote that I always remember from the great Marcus Garvey, who was one of the fathers of Pan-Africanism. And he said, to quote, If you have no self-confidence, or if you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life. With confidence, you've won even before you have begun. If you have no confidence in self, if you don't have faith, if you don't have trust in yourself, you are defeated twice in the race of life. Because in your head, you think you can't do it. And then when it comes to actually doing it, you will not be able to do it. So you have defeated yourself twice. You've defeated yourself in your mind, and you defeated yourself in the actual. Everything happens twice in life. First in your mind, and then you actually do it. When you agreed to come to this particular training, in your mind you agreed to come, and then you came. Okay? So everything happens twice. So if you don't believe in yourself first, you've already lost the first battle. And then when you go out and you don't win the race, you will say, I said it. Because you didn't have confidence. But with confidence, you have won even before you've started. If you have confidence, number one, you have trust in yourself. So that is it. You may not win the race, but at least you've had confidence in yourself, so you've won that battle. So it's important for you to have confidence in yourself, and the confidence comes from you doing the thing that you fear the most. If you want to see the death of fear, do the thing that frightens you the most. I forget who true said that, but for me it's true. Okay, so come to meetings like this, come to conferences, go to seminars, listen, sit in the front, listen. Be the first to ask questions. Beginning, you start by writing your questions and then saying them out, dito, in full. After a while, you'll be able to put the paper aside and actually ask the question as if without reading. And that's because you've acquired a lot of confidence in yourself. Okay, so this is for those of you who are, and I don't want you to now ever say that, look, I'm shy, I don't have the confidence, I can't speak in public. You've got to first start by going to and attending events, okay, and getting used to listening, okay. From listening, you go to actually speaking. It happens with everybody. A child who wants to learn a language, they only learn the language first by listening to what is being said around them, and then after a while, they will copy what is being said. They'll mimic what is being said, and then that's how language is. It's the same principle. You listen first, and then you do. Okay, so that's for building confidence if you are shy, okay? But so now you are able to speak, you do your preparation, but when you get on the stage, it's a whole different ball game. Everything freezes, time stops still. The people look like now they're like they're devils, and you can actually almost see them wishing you to fail. It's almost like you can read their thoughts. And you make a mistake. I said it. I knew I was going to make a mistake. Now I've said it. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you haven't gotten the right frame of mind. I want to tell you that public speaking is, first of all, a mind game. Just like most things in the world. It's a mind game first. If you sort out your mind issues, then actually doing it becomes easier to achieve, okay? But you have to sort out the mind issue first, okay? Stage fright. So stage, it's a big word here for me because it stands for a formula that works if you use it, okay? Because every letter in the word stage stands for something you have to remember with respect to public speaking and how to deal with the fear, the fright, the anxiety, okay? So S in the word stage stands for shift your focus. You have to shift your focus. So it's a bit like, so you have a pen, so you have a mobile phone, and you want to take a selfie. If you put your camera to selfie mode, who will you see? You see yourself, okay? So you see yourself, and that's one of the main reasons why people fail at speaking in public, because they think standing on the stage is about themselves. So they think that when I come on the stage, everybody's looking at me. Of course, everybody's looking at you. But then they're also thinking that everybody wants me to fail. Or I'm about to make a mistake. Or I need to impress the audience. Or if I don't deliver this speech well, my promotion is at stake. So it's all about I. And what happens is that you put all the pressure on yourself. What if when they call me and I'm going on the stage, I trip and I fall? what if my first words would be a big mistake and everybody will laugh at me? So it's all about me, 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 me. So you're thinking it's about you. It's a performance. I have to do well. I have to wow them. I remember years back, somebody who was an MC that I was mentoring, he said, oh, I went to this event and I saw some big people in the audience and I decided to impress them, you know. And unfortunately, everything went flat because the more you try to make it a show and make it about yourself, the more you will ignore the people who are the most important people in any room. In any room, the most important people are who? The audience. If you're a speaker, the most important person you need to take care of is the audience. So take away the whole selfie mentality. It's not about you. If you should switch your camera back to regular camera mode, who do you see? You see the audience. So now, before you get on the stage, if you have a speaking assignment, you have to start thinking, okay, who is my audience? What do they want to get out of my presentation? How much time do they have for me? Because if they have only 30 minutes for you, maybe you speak to them during their lunch break. They have only 30 minutes for lunch, but you prepared a 1 hour talk. After 30 minutes, what will happen? The people will leave because they have to leave. Lunch break is over. So you need to find out. So how much time do they have for me? What do they want to learn from me before they leave? It's a question I ask on my TV job. When I have a guest who is coming on the show, I sit down with the guest and ask him, because now he's my audience, okay? So, because I have to ask him questions for him to respond. So I ask him, so what do you want to achieve from this? So I need to find out, oh, he's promoting this Christmas program, or she's promoting this new album. Then I know how to tailor my questions around that. So you have to ask, what does my audience want? What do they want? Who are they? If it's an audience of teenagers, you can't come and be speaking professorial English to them. If it's an audience of I don't know, you have to tailor your message to your audience, okay? So the right kind of language. For example, if they speak French and you come in and address them in English, you've lost them. So who are the audience? What do they want? How much time do they have? What do they expect to get out of the speech? So focus your attention on the needs of your audience. It's not about a selfie mode where it's you, and everything that can go wrong with you, but what do they want? So that is when I say shift your focus, that's what I'm talking about. Focus on the needs of the audience. Now, T in the word stage, we are trying to beat stage fright here, stands for train your brain, okay? Imagine your brain going to the gym and lifting weights, okay? Your brain is going to become a very strong brain, lifting. Okay? Train your brain. What do I mean by train your brain? Naturally, human beings, we think the worst will happen. It's a natural thing. Come and speak on the stage. I'm not ready. What if I fail? Go and introduce the speaker. Oh, but I don't know his name. I'm not ready. I can't do it. I don't have time. What if I make a mistake? So we are wired to always think of the negative outcome, okay? That everything that will fail. What if I'm getting on the stage and I trip and I fall on my face? What if I open my mouth and like a goldfish? No words are coming out, What if I collapse and die? It doesn't really happen. But people can think about the most outlandish, worst case scenarios. And that's because they are thinking like human beings. So now you have to force yourself to think positive about whatever you're going to do. Okay? And that's why I say you need to train your brain. What does training mean? Training means you don't just go to the gym today and then you rest. You go to the gym tomorrow, you go on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you build your muscles. So you need to train your brain to think positively about whatever you're going to do. To think about a positive outcome for your presentation. You want to train your brain to almost expect good stuff. Expect a round of applause. Expect people to smile. Expect to have delivered a great message to the audience. Okay? And it's a bit like there's a new movie out, and you want to go and watch it. So you watch you find out when the movie is going. You go to the cinema, you buy your popcorn, you buy your drink, you buy your hot dogs. You enter the cinema room, it's dark. You sit down, you find your best spot. My best spot is always the middle and at the very top, where I can see everything. And I'll be the last person to leave because I like to listen to the music at the end of the movie. From to the end, I like to read all the credits. So I stay at the top, I don't disturb anybody, nobody disturbs me. I sit at the top there, right in the middle. In fact, a little outside here, there was one day I remember after my morning show, I went off to the cinema and I watched an 11 o'clock movie on a weekday. I was the only person in the cinema. It felt like I had booked the whole cinema for myself. And I can remember the movie, Gulliver's Travels. I was the only person there at the very top, in the middle, watching. When they finished, I listened to the entire music. At the end, I watched all the credits. But I digress. So imagine that you bought your stuff, you've gone into the movie hall, you sit down, you find your favorite spot, the trailer comes on, they finish, and the movie is about to start. At that moment, when the movie is about to start, do you think, this is going to be a bad movie? Nobody does that. Nobody goes to the cinema, invests all their effort, their energy, their money, their time. Nobody does that. I don't know anybody who sits down in the cinema and expects the movie to be a bad movie. You all expect the movie to be good, and invariably the movie is good. So that's the kind of mentality I want you to have with your public speaking. Expect that you have a good outcome. Don't expect it to be a horror movie. Expect it to be good so that you are training your brain to think positive. Think positive, okay? So shift your focus, train your brain. Shift the focus from I to who the audience is. And the thing about shifting the focus is that, you see, the brain is such a wonderful organ. I think about the most important organ in the human being. You cannot think two thoughts at once. You can try it and see, you can't. It's not possible to think two thoughts at the same time. You can only think one thought at once. So if you are not thinking about yourself, then you're thinking about the audience. If you're thinking about the audience, you're not thinking about yourself. Okay? So train your brain. Shift your focus. Focus on the audience instead of yourself. Train your brain to look for the positive, okay, instead of the negatives, all right? And while you're training your brain too, you want to put yourself in a state where you are more likely to deliver a good performance on stage. And so that goes to A, where you want to act with calmness. You see, achieve calmness. A, you want to be calm, okay? Yeah. So some people do affirmations, okay? So an affirmation is any sentence that begins with I in the positive present tense, and it says something positive about you. So I speak well in public. That's a positive affirmation. I get a round of applause when I finish speaking. Even if you haven't gotten a round of applause before, you are trying to program your brain, okay? So say this stuff to yourself. I am calm in front of people I don't know, okay? This is what you're trying to program into your brain, Just like people tell themselves, I'm dumb, I'm stupid. And then in the end, they do dumb and stupid things because they've told themselves that, okay? Reverse the programming, okay? So you achieve calm by saying these positive things to yourself. It's part of training your brain as well, but it's more of like you want to be relaxed, you want to be calm, you want to have a mental state that is just ready to face the audience. If you've realized the first 3 stages, we haven't done anything, we haven't done any speaking yet. You've shifted your brain, you've trained shifted your mind, your focus, trained your brain, you're achieving calm. Okay, so say these affirmations. Record them on your phone. Everybody has a phone now, I hope. All right, so record them. And don't say I will be calm. No, that's future. Say it now. Okay, say it now. I'm calm. Yeah. I'm calm. I speak well. I deliver a message that the audience wants to hear. I'm relaxed. I'm confident. Talk to yourself, okay? The next tip I want to give you is for articulation, and it also helps you to be calm, okay? So tongue twisters are really good for keeping you calm. but make sure you say them away from the audience, okay? Otherwise they'll think you're crazy. So a good tongue twister is one with lots of syllables that can wet your mouth and relax you, okay? So an example would be, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. A peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper, where on earth is the peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked? And you say it slower than I said it, right? I speak very fast, but say it slower than I said it, and articulate the words, okay? Speaking aloud, articulating your words also helps you to form your sentences clearer, and most of these tongue twisters are really funny, so they keep you calm and relaxed. If you're happy and you're smiling, you are not going to be nervous, okay? And the whole idea is that we want to deal with nervousness. We don't want to be frightened. We don't want to be anxious. We don't want to be scared on the stage, okay? So do those tongue twisters. Good exercise for you. Do the affirmations. Affirmations are really, really important for being calm. Tell yourself positive stuff, okay? Record it, put it on your phone. Listen to it when you're doing your walk or your drive, or anytime you have a moment, you're in the bank, you're waiting for the teller to call you. Teller number, customer number 056. While you're waiting for them, listen to your stuff, okay? Listen to yourself. Tell yourself what you want to be, or what you are. Not what you want to be, what you are, all right? So then to the fourth stage, so shift your focus, train your brain, achieve calm. G, get prepared. So get prepared to get on the stage, okay? If you want to deal with stage fright, you have to be prepared. And preparation comes from, prepare, the word prepare means to get ready before the event happens, okay? So you have to get ready before the event happens. How do you do that? Four things you need to remember. So rehearse early. If you have a speaking assignment that you're supposed to do, you want to rehearse early. They tell you that, in 2 months' time, you'll be giving this talk to whatever audience. Don't wait to 2 days or 2 hours or 2 minutes. That is a surefire way to build up stage fright. 2 months' time, start preparing. Get your research, find out what the audience wants to hear from you, do whatever research you have to do on the internet, speak to people who may know something about the subject that you're going to speak about, get all that stuff done, okay? So prepare early. Rehearse often, okay? It's not one thing, starting your preparation 2 months ahead, and then you wait, and then the day before, then you go and do some rehearsal. It won't work. So rehearse early, rehearse often, okay? How often should you rehearse? Well, there's a gentleman I follow a lot. He's called TJ Walker. He's a public speaking and presentation coach. He's coached presidents, prime ministers. Look for him, TJ Walker. TJ Walker says, you will know you are ready when you are happy with what you hear from your recording, from your rehearsal, okay? Which leads me to the next point. You want to record your rehearsals, okay? You hear people tell you that, stand in front of the mirror and talk to the mirror as part of your rehearsal. It's wrong. It won't work, okay? It is better for you to record your rehearsal so that you can listen to what you said, okay? And then you can also get feedback from yourself and from your audience, which leads me to the fourth point. You have to always rehearse with an audience, okay? So rehearse early, rehearse often, rehearse on tape, record your rehearsal, and rehearse with an audience. Why are you rehearsing with an audience? Well, when you get on the stage, who will you see? It will be an audience. It won't be yourself in the mirror reflection. So you want to make sure that you are rehearsing in front of an audience. It doesn't have to be a full room of people, 4 or 5 people in the room. If you're a student, well, bribe your classmates to sit in the room with you so that you can speak to them. To speak to them. I remember I had to do a training for a parliamentary candidate. She was a former minister and she wanted to be a member of parliament in Ghana's parliament. And oftentimes, all we had was her husband, who was a campaign manager, in the audience. And then me sitting there with her husband and recording what she was saying. But it made a heck of a difference. Because she knew that she was speaking to people and she had to almost kind of communicate silently with them with her talk. So it's very important to have an audience with you in the room when you are recording your rehearsal. And the rehearsal, you see, when you record your rehearsal, you let the audience give you feedback. Ask them, what did you like about it? And they'll say, oh, well, I like the fact that your introduction was a smooth one. You went to the point. What didn't you like about it? Well, while you were speaking, you had your hands in your pockets. It didn't look too formal or professional. They'll give you feedback, okay? You yourself, when you listen to your presentation and you look at yourself, because when you record your presentation, now it's a presentation of you on the stage, but looking at yourself as an audience person. And all of a sudden, then you see that your posture could have been better. Maybe you were pacing up and down too much, like a nervous lion in the zoo, yeah. So you will get feedback for yourself, and you will get feedback from your audience as well if you record your presentation. So it's really, really important. 4 ways to prepare. Get prepared or rehearse often, rehearse early, record your rehearsal, and then also rehearse in front of an audience, okay? And then that takes you to E. So you shift your focus, train your brain, achieve calm, get prepared, express yourself, okay? Public speaking is about, the most important person in the room is the audience. So you're expressing yourself in such a way that the audience will appreciate what you have to give them. And if you did your work well, if you shifted your focus onto the audience, you know what they want, you know how long they have, you know what they want to get from your presentation, and then you just go deliver it for them. Your mind is in the right place, you are calm, you've done your preparation. A lot of the stage fright comes from just lack of preparation. That alone is a huge cause of stage fright, because they call you up on the stage and you say, yeah, I'm not ready. That alone can frighten the bejesus out of you. Okay, yeah, that you're not ready. Okay, if you don't know your audience, that can also frighten you. But because you knew who your audience is right from the get-go, you know that these are the people I'm going to be dealing with, so you don't have a problem with that. Okay, you've prepared. You've gotten your. We'll talk about how to even construct a speech and things later on. But for now, we're dealing with stage fright. So you've prepared. You are calm. You've done your affirmations. You know that your mind is in a good place. And remember, you are in good company, If, for those of you who are Christians, if you go to the Bible, there's one very famous leader of the Hebrews who was bad at public speaking. Moses. Yes. Moses was terrible. Yes, but he led the people. Yes, and I'm sure he improved in time. He was able to face Pharaoh with the help of his man, Aaron. Yeah, so you're in good company, okay? Don't think that because I'm a bad public speaker, I'm the worst person in the world. No. There are advantages of being a great public speaker. You get to, most people who rise to the top of their organizations, wherever, public speaking is a great part of it, because the higher you go, the more your communication has to be oral and verbal. But I also know people who were stuck at positions and couldn't move up because they just couldn't get through the examination that took them to the next level. They just couldn't get through, and so I've had to coach people like that and just take them through a process where they would get rid of their stage fright and then get over that hurdle and move to higher places. So it's a really important skill that you're learning here. So expressing yourself, you've gotten all that done. You get on the stage, you want to catch people's attention, okay? So you get on the stage, they call you. But even before you get on the stage, while you are sitting down, getting ready to get on the stage, please remember that people will be, okay, it's not about you, but people will be watching you because you are the public, you are the speaker, okay? So this normally happens at the end of the speech. So I've seen speakers finish a presentation and then they go to their seat, they sit down, and you hear that. And it's like, wow. No. Control yourself, okay? Before and after. And before too, I see them fiddling and they're very nervous. They are introducing them, and then you see that they are all over the place. One good way to calm your nerves is to actually give your introduction to whoever is introducing you. So the person introduces you the way you want to be introduced, okay? That way it also takes away because sometimes people are introduced so badly that when they come on the stage, they have to now correct the MC. Say, well, actually, I'm not Dr. This, I'm Professor. Oh, I'm not the MD, I'm the general manager. And all that negative energy doesn't really help, And so give your presentation the way you want to be introduced to the MC and tell him to read it word for word. Okay, it shouldn't be too long, all right? You should read it word for word. So they introduce you, come on the stage, and Couple of ways to start your presentation. You can start with silence. Yeah, you will be thinking that this may make you even more nervous, but I can guarantee you, when you get onto the stage and you are quiet and you have a smile, don't frown though. If you frown, they'll think there's got a problem with me. No. So look at the people, don't say anything, and you actually hear the hall getting quiet because they are wondering, what's wrong with this guy? Is he okay? Yeah, but you'd have gotten their attention, and then you launch. Okay, so you can use silence. You can start with a question. How many of you would like to be better in public speaking by the end of this training? That's the question. Show by hand. Yeah, then now you get them, you control them, you get them to do something. You know, you see some smiles there. And then you can go, you can start with a story, you know. So once upon a time when I was much younger, I used to be so nervous and shy and self-conscious that I didn't even open my mouth for like 2 years when I was in secondary school. I never talked. But now I host a TV show, I'm an MC, and I can't even believe the transformation. So it is possible for you to go from being shy, from shy guy to super speaker. And today I'm going to show you some tips on that. So that's a short story, which is relevant to you. Remember that when you tell a story, it must be relevant to the audience, okay? Don't tell them a story about something that has no relevance, and the people are enjoying the story, and then when it finishes, then they say, oh, now let's talk about this. But what was that story for? You know, keep it relevant to whatever you are doing, okay? So you can start with silence, you can start with a question, you can start with a story, but you get people's attention, and then you launch, give a presentation. If you make mistakes, and that is what gets a lot of people shaken. They make a mistake, and then they want to correct the mistake, and they think everybody heard the mistake. Let me tell you something. I'm here to announce to you that when you get on the stage, most people are too preoccupied with their own business. They may not even have heard your mistake, okay? So don't think, the focus should not be on you. Don't think people are looking at you. They want to get something out of your speech. You know, I have listened to people who have bad grammar, but they delivered wonderful presentations and people were hooked. You know, there's one famous Ghanaian boxer from way back whose English wasn't that great back then. He dropped out of school at a very early age. Now he's taking lessons and things, and he's great now. He's a brand ambassador for one of the big brands, many of the big brands in Ghana. But in those days, his press conferences were crazy, but he delivered them with confidence. He didn't care. You know, he just went through, and people would listen to him, and they got the import of what you're saying. I'm not saying you should go and inflate your bad grammar on people, all right? Don't do that. As much as possible, try and speak whatever language you're speaking correctly, okay? So that people are not now fighting with bad grammar and meaning, okay? But I'm just saying that confidence is a big key in getting rid of stage fright, okay? With confidence, you can. So you want to start in a way that gets people in, and then if you make a mistake, don't worry too much, okay? I give you an example. On TV, every day, the newsreaders, they make mistakes. Every day, I present every day on GTV. I make mistakes every day, but I don't stop and say, let me take it again. Guys, I made a mistake. I just continue. Partly because it's live. When it's a live show, you cannot go back and start again, okay? But the principle is this, that people will not see your mistakes until you consciously point them out, okay? So if for example, you were supposed to list 3 points in order 1, 2, 3, but according to your thing, you went 1, 3, 2, who cares? Nobody knows. Nobody has your presentation, okay? So just go ahead and do it, you know? On the news, the presenter makes a mistake, I notice it. She probably noticed it, but if she's a pro, she will not alert you to the mistake. The ones who are not professional will say, let me take it again. And the moment they say, let me take it again, then now your ears are cocked. You want to hear what mistake was made, okay? So, don't expect perfection, okay? Perfection will give you a bad case of public stage fright, all right? So you don't expect perfection. What is your overall message? What do you want them to give? What do you want them to get? And then just do it, okay? Get there. And end on a strong note, okay? Know how your presentation is going to end. So that if you're running out of time, I hope you won't run out of time because you would have rehearsed. And that's a reason why you're supposed to rehearse early, rehearse often. Because when you're rehearsing, you're also recording your timing. You know how long. But if you should run out of time, you should know how to get to your last point. Okay? Instead of speeding up. Most people, when they are nervous and they tell them you have 5 minutes, but they start speaking faster. It's a mistake. Find out what your ending is. Get to the ending and say, well, for those of you who want more, I can get back to you. I can email my speech to you, whatever. Yeah. So know how you're going to end. Okay. Don't read too much meaning in the expressions on the audience's face. You know, me, when I'm listening, I'm concentrating, I frown. Okay. Or I close my eyes. I'm not sleeping. I'm listening. Okay. So, but you may think, oh, the people are tired. They're sleeping. I'm bored. I'm boring them. No. People have their own issues they are dealing with. If you find a couple of friendly faces in the audience and they are responding to you, deal with them. Okay? Yeah, deal with them. I've seen a couple of yawns in this presentation, but I'm not taking it personally. You probably went to bed at 1 a.m. and got up at 4. So if you're yawning, that's not my problem. That's your problem. You understand? But I'm not taking it personally. Don't take things personally on the stage. Okay? People are there because they want to be there. Unless it's a school assignment where they have to be there because of grades. But in normal life, people come there because they want to be there, all right? And they are picking something from whatever you have to say. So don't take it too personally. Otherwise, you will be battling with stage fright all the time. You'll be trying to achieve beyond what is even expected of you, okay? So don't take it personally. Shift your focus away from yourself to your audience. Train your brain to expect positive outcomes instead of negative. Achieve calm, you know, center yourself, calm yourself, do your meditation. Some people even pray before they go on the stage, you know. Do your tongue twisters, warm your mouth. It keeps your mouth nice, warm, and your mouth lubricated. Drink lots of water, okay? It won't keep your mouth dry. It will give you enough saliva to speak. You need saliva to speak, okay? Yeah, and then get prepared the right way. Start early, rehearse often, record your rehearsal, rehearse with an audience, and then express yourself. Start on a strong note, okay? Get through your presentation. Don't worry too much about mistakes and errors, okay? End on a high, and end on a strong note, yes. And then and especially if you think you've done a bad job, the best thing to do is look for the next speaking opportunity at the earliest time. So you go and speak again. Yes. That's how you get the badness out of your system. You get the stage, oh, I flopped. I was too nervous. Get another opportunity to go and speak again. Because the more you do it, the better you become. It's like riding a bike. You know, the more you do it, the better you become. Like anything else in life. The more you do it the right way, the better you will become. The more you do it the wrong way, the worse you will become. Okay? So the thing is to do it the right way and become better all the time. Okay? And with that, I'll take a couple of questions from you and from our friends on Zoom as well. Stage frights. Any questions? If people know Hamdia, Roberta, Lucia, Courage, Hans, Magdalene. Any questions? I'll repeat the question for those of you who don't hear. Okay. All right, go ahead.
My question is, if you are on stage,
yes.
Who should you look forward to?
Okay.
Should you look at the audience? Should you pick one person
and look at? Okay, I get you. So Hamdia wants to know, who do you look at when you're on the stage? Okay. I've heard people say, target the forehead and look at it. I've also heard people say, go 6 inches above the top of his head and then look in that direction. Yeah, well, but you see, if I'm going to be looking above the head of the last person, I'm not going to be making any connection with the eyes. Okay? When you have a conversation with your friend, your mother, your brother, your spouse, do you not look into their faces once in a while? You don't gaze at them 100% unless you are deeply, madly in love. But after a while, people will think, is this guy a psychopath? So break the gaze once in a while. You look at the person. You look. So this is a big room. Okay. You can divide the room up into maybe 4 or 5, and then you vary the gaze. So I look here a little bit, maybe the person at the back there. Then I look at Magdalene a while. Then I speak to Lucia a bit. Then I look. So you vary it, and maybe point by point. So I make a point. So, for example, I have 5 points to make. I say, this is how to deal with stage fright. I have a 5-point plan for you. So first of all, you want to shift your focus to deal with stage fright. And then you train your brain to look for the positive. That's the second part. Thirdly, we'll look at achieving calm. That's A. And then I look at somebody else and say, get prepared. E, express yourself. So you give them a little bit of your gaze. It's not 100% on. You know, you're not mad. You know, or madly in love with somebody, you know. Yeah, so distribute your gaze, okay? It comes with practice, and that's why I say rehearse with an audience, okay? Rehearse with an audience because you can practice all that stuff with the audience before you get on the stage. The worst kind of rehearsal is to just look at your PowerPoint, read through it in your head. Okay, I've rehearsed. Then you get on the stage, and it's no longer a PowerPoint, it's people. And then you have 30 minutes, but after 20 minutes, they tell you that after 20 minutes, they say you have 10 minutes more, and you still have 30 slides to do. And all of a sudden, it's so don't do that. All right. So do it the right way. We have another question here. Okay. A question. Let's please read me the question on Zoom. What's the question on Zoom? Okay. Yes. Go ahead. On Zoom, tell me what the question is. So we have some people on Zoom as well. You can read it after me. Yes, what does Coco want to say? Coco, go ahead, unmute and talk to us on Zoom. Or type your question and we'll read it out for you. Okay? There's a question on Zoom that we want to get through to. But anybody here who has a question while we're waiting for the Zoom, let Coco type his question out and we'll read it out for him. Yes, Roberta, what's your question? Okay, Coco, go ahead. Can we hear you? Can you hear us? Okay, type it. My Zoom people, type your questions out.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Sakaf.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Go ahead. What's your question?
Mine is not a question. I wanted to contribute to the question on distribution of eye contact.
Okay, go ahead.
A good rule of thumb to use is the 3 seconds rule.
Mm-hmm.
The rule said you want to distribute eye contact to everybody in the room without staring or making you or them uncomfortable.
Good.
Look at them for 3 seconds and move your eye to the next person for 3 seconds and the next person for 3 seconds.
Excellent.
So for each person that you look at, it's just 3 seconds and you move on.
Mm-hmm.
3 seconds is enough to connect the two of you but not make you feel like you're staring at each other.
Fantastic. I like that. Very scientific. 3 seconds. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3. That's 3 seconds. Then you go. And Roberta, what's your question? Thank you, Afokoko. Thank you. Roberta, what's your question?
We spoke about getting used to hearing your voice from a microphone and something. So I want to know, is there anything like a good voice in that?
A good voice is your voice. Of course, you can improve it. I mean, I read about Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first prime minister and president, who had dental work done on his teeth. He used to have, I think, a wide gap in one of his teeth, which caused his S's to be like, so instead of spell, you say spell, also a lisp. And so he had it closed. So the air was dispelled, and then now he could speak, his S's could sound better. Margaret Thatcher also had as kind of a squeaky voice, former prime minister for UK. And she took voice lessons, and they got her to speak in a deeper voice, because research has shown that people prefer voices that are deeper, you know, and they sound more assuring, more serious. But I've heard men with voices like this. I know a very famous person whose voice like this, and he's a man. And I also presented my morning show years ago with a female whose voice was like this, deep. It didn't stop them from excelling in whatever field they were in, okay? Most of the time, people are interested in what you can tell them. What can they take out of what? And that's how come I can listen to a presentation from a stammerer. But if the stammerer is giving me great information, I will be patient and listen. Okay? Which shows you that most people are interested in the message, not the messenger. Of course, if you can improve the way you speak, please, there are people who can teach you. You can get free lessons on YouTube, but there are voice coaches as well. I mean, there's a great guy in Ghana, Accra, called Coach Freeman. He helps people with their singing and their speaking voices, okay? So if you can afford it, get coaching. If you can't afford it, get free lessons on YouTube, okay? And develop yourself, all right? Okay, any more questions? There's another question coming up. Okay. Well, too much of everything is bad, really. I mean, if I have too much meat in my soup, where is the soup? You know, if I have too many stories, I don't know. Stories are the most effective way of getting people to remember whatever you want them to say. They're the most effective, bar none. That's why we can still remember childhood stories. Because once you say once upon a time, even adults will take notice. You know, because they know a story is coming. And they remember when they were kids, what kind of stories they listen to. Too much is when it's too much. And you have to use your judgment in some of these things. There's no formula which says tell 3 stories in a 30-minute presentation. Every story must be relevant to. If I have 5 points, I will tell 5 stories. I could tell 2 stories per point. I could tell 2 and 1, 3, 2. As long as you don't run out of time and you can hit your story home. I mean, the Bible stories, the ones we remember are the stories. The narratives in the Bible are the ones which were told in story form. The parables, the Samaritan, the thief on the cross, all that stuff. It's just stories, okay? And the stories are always told with a point in mind. So tell the story, make a point. Hans has a question.
My question is, you are called to speak.
Yes.
Extemporaneously. And you start speaking, and the things get jammed in your head.
Okay.
How do you do things about that?
All right. So this is impromptu speaking, and we'll probably take this at length in the next session. So, but impromptu speaking. So, for example, you are called to come and introduce somebody. Okay, introduce the speaker. Okay, and they tell you in 5 minutes that in the next 5 minutes, Hans, you are going to be introducing the speaker. Most people will say, yeah, I don't know the speaker. But the best way to go about this is just ask, where is the speaker? Go to the speaker and tell the person, listen, I'm going to introduce you. And just ask for just 4 pieces of information from the speaker. What does the person do? Profession, P. It's an acronym I use, it's PETS, P-E-T-S, okay? If you want to introduce a speaker, P-E-T-S. Ask for the profession, what do they do? Ask for their experience, how long have they done it? E. Ask for their topic, what are they going to speak about? And then you mention their name last, S, say their name last. So profession, experience, topic, say their name last. Okay, it works. Just in 4 sentences, you can introduce somebody who you've never met before. So if I find out, for example, that, Roberta, what's your full name? Your last name is? Modini. So Roberta Modini, that's her name. Roberta is a content producer. Yes? Okay, she's a content producer. She's been doing it for let's say 2 years. Okay? And she's going to talk about how to create viral content for GTV. Her name is Roberta Modini, right? So, with this formula, our next speaker is a content producer with 2 years of experience at GTV, P&E. She's here to talk about how to create sticky viral content that people can not do away with. Let's put our hands together as we welcome Roberta Modini. P-E-T-S. Profession, experience, topic, what are they going to say? And then you mention, you say their name last. Because if you say their name last, you kind of build suspense. Sometimes if you do it very well, even the person you're introducing doesn't even know that you are the one, they're talking about them. And then all of a sudden they hear their name at the end, it's, oh wow. You know, and then they come on the stage and they go and deliver, okay? So that's how you can introduce somebody off the cuff, okay? We'll deal with that in greater detail in the next session, okay? But that's just one way of doing it, okay? All right. Well, we have just about 2 minutes more, so we'll take maybe one more person from Zoom. Okay, Courage, go ahead.
Okay, so you talked about achieving calmness.
Yes.
When you're trying to go about your presentation.
Yeah.
But what do you do when, in the course of the presentation, you realize people's attention or focus is not really on what you're doing? What do you do to engage them so that they can grasp whatever you're putting out there?
Okay, we will deal with how to keep people engaged in the next session. But you can get people to, they do it a lot in church, you know. Hands up if you're following what I have said so far in the next 30 minutes. Let's just show by hands who is following what. Who would like some clarification on a particular topic. You will see from people, you know. So you can break your talk and ask for some kind of interaction with the audience, okay? Yes, yeah. Don't get angry with them. Oh, you people, don't get angry with your audience, you know, because they are more than you. If they want to rebel against you, there's nothing you can do, all right? Lucia, you have a question you want to ask? No? Everybody's asked their questions. There's one more from Zoom, if there's no Zoom. So basically, this session should give you the tips that you need, first of all, as somebody who has no experience in speaking and wants to start speaking. You start, first of all, by listening. Okay, so you go to as many talks as possible. You sit in the front. Okay, take notes. When it's question time, be the first person to raise your hand. Write your question out before you raise your hand. You read your question, sit down, you listen. Do it often, and then at a point in time, you'll be able to ask the questions without even reading from your notes. It will be coming from your head. Okay, it's all preparation. And then to deal with stage fright, you know, that fear, irrational fear, but a very common fear, because nobody wants to mess up in town. You know, you don't want to mess up publicly. You know. The only person, and everybody cares about their dignity and their self-respect. The only people who don't care are those who are probably very high on something illegal. You know? Yeah. Yes, but if you're not high, you have your dignity to protect. You know? So you want to be, but then your protection of your respect, self-respect can lead you to do irrational things. But you're not alone. Many people suffer from stage fright. But remember the word stage in terms of the stage fright. So you shift your focus, you train your brain, you achieve calm, you get prepared the right way, and then you basically go out there and express yourself. Thank you so much. There's a Zoom question. This is the last question. Absolutely last question. Come on, Zoom. Let's go. Okay, listen to you. If you are a TV presenter and people say you always repeat yourself, find out whether it is true. What I do with my interviews, the day that I finish the interview, I go and watch it again. These days, everything is on Facebook. So I watch my interview again and I listen. And I ask myself two questions. What did I like? What could I do differently next time? And use that in any form of feedback seeking that you want. What did I like about my performance? What would I do differently next time? What did I like gets you to appreciate what you were good at. I told you human beings naturally want to see the negative. Man, I didn't do a good job. But I'm trying to force you, or you're trying to force yourself to look for the positives. What did I like about what I just did? Even if you failed miserably, wow, man, I failed with confidence. That's a good thing. Yes, that will make you strong. That will make you want to come back again, okay? Charlie, I goofed seriously, man. But, I goofed with comfy, you know? So, what did you like, number one? And number two, what would I do differently next time? And that's where you improve. If you find out that you are repeating yourself 2-3 times in a minute, then you consciously want to now make an effort not to repeat yourself, okay? But if you don't watch your own show, if you don't, any talk you give, make sure you record it and watch it. This presentation, I will watch it again. Yes, on the way home, if I get it, I'll watch it again. When it comes up on YouTube, I'll watch it again, all right? So give yourself feedback, all right? What did you like? What would you do differently next time? You'll be good. We're out of time. No. Oh, come on, man.
Since I've watched myself, and I think the problem is that sometimes I lack words.
Find more words, my brother. When I was growing up, my father used to make me and my brothers give him 10 new words every day. 10 new words. We took off his socks, and then he would ask me, Kafui, what have you learned? And I have to give him 10 new words. The name of the word, say the word, how it is pronounced, what it means, and I put it into a sentence. So do yourself that favor. Read every day and find 10 words. When you find 10 new words, stop reading if you want. Okay? Get a book. Put your new words down. Get the meaning of the word. Get the way it is pronounced. You know, you should be able to say one word or one thing in so many different ways. And this is the last one. So for example, the word happy. You must know maybe 20 ways of saying happy. Let's do it together. Happy, excited, what else? Gay, although these days it's a whole new level. Elated, okay. Excited is there. Go to Google, just go to Google. Synonyms for happy. Don't waste your time. All right, just go quickly, you find them. What more? Joyful, okay. Ecstatic. What? Yeah. Overwhelmed, yes, go ahead. What else? Enthused, I'm happy, I'm enthused, yes. I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm enthused, I'm joyful, I'm ecstatic. Google it, it's there. Synonyms. No many words. Brian Tracy said contented, yes. Contented. Cheerful, I'm cheerful. I'm cheery. I'm jovial. There's so many. So sometimes just buy a thesaurus. A thesaurus is a book of synonyms, and just read it for fun. I used to do that when I was young. Maybe I was a nerd, but a thesaurus. THESAURUS. It's online as well. If you go online, look for thesaurus. It gives you one word and 100 meanings or 100 synonyms of the same word. Okay. The more words you have as a speaker, words are your tools. And this is my last point. Words are your tools. The more words you have, the more you're able to express yourself clearer. So instead of saying, how are you? Oh, I'm okay. I'm ecstatic to see you. I'm delighted to see you. I'm excited to see you. I'm thrilled to see you. I'm amazed to see you. You know, then you give more variety to your expression. You're not just, you know. So no more words, all right? And that's our session today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you picked something important about how to deal with stage fright. It's the biggest problem of public speakers. And when you conquer that, the sky is absolutely the limit. Like the content, share it, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and when more content comes, my people on YouTube, you will get it. Thank you very much. God bless.